90% of video editors are not making any money, while the top 1% are making upward of 2 to 5 lakhs every single month. Most editors, both freelance and employed ones, are making these 5 deadly mistakes which are stopping them from crossing that 1 lakh per month in revenue. And the interesting thing is, most of these problems are not even related to editing. While some of these mistakes can be fixed right now instantly, a few of them will take a few months to incorporate into your workflow. But once you do it, it will definitely at least 5x your income. And if that is something you're willing to do, grab yourself a pen, because we're going to be adding a few zeros to your check. So we are on the pursuit of becoming a 1% editor that can actually 10x your income if you are already earning as a video editor. Be it freelance, be it a job, you can 10x your income if you incorporate all of these things in the next 6 months. We'll also talk about why most editors generally get stuck around 30-40k per month and never get out of that 40k jail. That is something that we also talk about. But yeah, let's talk about the 5 deadly sins. That is the premise of this video. What are the top 5 things, top 5 mistakes that are absolutely killing your opportunities, the high ticket clients that you're not getting, the high ticket projects that you're not getting, and you as a creator, as an editor, is not appreciated at all. So here are the 5 deadly sins: the cookie cutter, the fluff, the jack of all trades, the iron code, and the no-show. The no-show and the iron code are very, very important. No-show actually has 2 different parts. I'll talk about them later, but let's first start off with the comparatively smaller problems. First one is a cookie cutter. So this is an email that I have received. I receive emails from video editors, mainly freelance video editors or agencies, like 3 to 4 times every single day. And I kid you not, 99% of those emails are absolute bullshit. Like, I would never even read the whole email, or even if I read the email, I would never reply to them. Even though I do not need editors, I have my own team. But thinking from a client perspective, those emails are so flawed. Here's one example. If you look at this email, what do you think is the problem? The major problem is this person talks a lot about their expertise, how they can help me, but they do not showcase their work. That is a huge problem that I see. At least like half of the emails that I get are not even sharing their portfolio. That just tells me 2 things. One, they have never worked with anyone else. And as a client, nobody wants to hire a rookie editor who has never done anything before. I do not want to be the first client of anyone. Take your time, read the email, tell me what the problem is. The major problem that, again, I see a lot of editors, a lot of any kind of service provider emails that I get who are reaching out outbound to me or to other of my friends are making this particular mistake, is that they are only talking about them. I did this in my college, I do this in my school, and I have done this, I've done this, I've done this. And none of these are like industry leaders. They have done something in their school, newspaper, and all of these things. They're talking about how low of a price they can offer. But again, where is your expertise? First point. Second point, you are talking all about themselves. You have to understand one basic human psychology, that people like it when you talk about them. You have to make the email about the client, not about you. Keep your description very short. Take your description, write 5-6 lines, take it into ChatGPT and tell it to make your description, make your great description into 2 lines, and tell the client about how you can help them, how they can be benefited by hiring you, not how you will benefit and how you will learn. The client does not care. This is a very good analogy I would give. If you have watched Zootopia, you know what's up. This is your client. That sloth is your client. You do not want the hiring process, the decision-making process for the client, because you're reaching out to clients because they have money, right? They're either a creator, they either run a business, they are building their personal brand, they're doing something, and they are busy people. You do not want them to invest much headspace or much time into making the decision of whether they want to get on a call with you. Because if you want that, if you demand that from a client, they're not going to work with you. As simple as that. Because I'm not going to give my headspace to figure out, oh, this guy is really good at editing this kind of videos. Do I need this kind of videos? How can he exactly help me? No. Compared to another email which will directly tell me how they can help me. How they can help me in which part of my business very specifically. That makes the whole thinking process a lot easier for me, and it makes it much more much more favorable for me to actually get on a call or at least reply to the email. So always treat your clients to be this sloth, a very lazy person who has a lot of work. Okay, a lazy person who has a lot of work. He does not have time for you. You have to be very quick, no long emails. You have to be very exact about how you can help them, not about how you can learn, how you are such a great editor and all of these things. Okay, very simple. So that is why I call it the cookie cutter, because cookie cutter is basically the cookie cutter email. Do not follow an email template. You can follow the email template as like, okay, this is my introduction, this is this, this is this. Do not follow our email template word to word. I see a lot of emails where they just change the name of the client and just send it to them. It does not work. You have to personalize it. If you have a little more time to invest, if you are especially starting out, because if you are starting out, you do not have any portfolio, you do not have any previous work to show, how do you land clients then? Then what you have to do is to do some work, do some free work. I'm not saying work for free. I'm saying whichever client you're reaching out to, take their video. If you are probably, so suppose you work in repurposing longer videos into short form content. Take their longer videos, make a banger short form reel or short and send it to them. If you are working in content consultancy, pick 3 or 4 problems that they are actually facing and also tell them how you can solve them, how they can solve them. Give them the solution. Very simply, give them the solution and then they get some instant value from that little email. They get interested, they get invested. It is much easier to get them on a discovery call. Moving on, a few things that are very annoying to look at as a client. First thing is the Google Drive. Absolutely ban Google Drive if you are sharing your work. Google Drives are not at all organized and it looks very cheap because it is the easiest way. You might have amazing videos. If you send them on a Google Drive, they might not get the same respect compared to a portfolio website. You do not have to invest any money into getting a portfolio website. You can use Behance or Card. These websites, and there are much other websites as well where you can make free portfolios. You can even use Notion for this. Absolutely, just put in some work, take a day, gather all of your videos and make a good looking portfolio. Google Drive just does not cut it. Secondly, invest in positioning. This is something that you have to do. So if you have some money to invest, maybe 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, what do you invest in? Invest in a good quality webcam, because most of the editors do not really think about these things. If someone gets on a discovery call with you and they see good audio quality, they see good video quality, it just makes you a little more respectable, a little more authoritative, if that is a word. So invest in good audio quality, invest in good video quality. Do not need to buy a camera, buy a good webcam. You can find good webcams at like 1.5 to 2K. Absolutely fine. Next is a very secret thing. This is something I call the one-man agency. Even if you are a freelance video editor, you are alone. Okay, you are the only guy that is working. Make 2 imaginary guys, or 2, 3, even more if you want. But when you are getting on a discovery call, get either one of your friends on the discovery call as well, who will just be there, not do anything. You talk not as the editor, but as the agency owner. You are the manager of the agency. You are the creative director of the agency. You are the one who supervises everything. Okay? You talk like that. This gives you 2 things. One, when the client sees that you are actually working with a team, it's not a freelancer, that in their mind tells them, okay, these guys will charge a little higher. You can charge much more if you talk as your own manager or your own supervisor. Second thing, if anything bad happens or sometimes the edit is not very satisfactory for some reason to the client, you can blame it on your imaginary editor, which actually is you. You can tell it like, okay, you can tell the client that you will take care of it. Again, probably not very ethical to do this, but this helps. After all, if you're freelancing, if you're building an agency, we are looking to make more money at the end. Coming on to number 3, the fluff. The fluff is essentially the things that people are very hyped about, and they're essentially a bubble. So what are the things that people are really hyped about? Retention edits, sound design, asset packs. People are scouring the internet for free asset packs, free transitions, free templates and all of those things. A lot of motion graphics and so on. There are 100 different editing trends that you will see on the internet, and jumping onto each of those hype trains is not going to take you anywhere. Instead, you need to understand what actually makes a piece of content remarkable. The goal is to not just get views, that might be the goal for some clients, but the major goal, a better goal to have, is to actually make memorable content. How do you make memorable, impactful content? You have to study consumer psychology, pacing of a video, how do you use music, how do you use stems of a music. This is very important. Most people just use the music directly. How can you use stems of a music? Learn that shit. How do you drive emotions and how do you actually manipulate people watching? Then also the most important thing is storytelling. How do you actually tell a story and build a brand? These are things that you really need to learn, and once you understand these things, you will also understand, like, people are just doing retention edits, not understanding why this particular effect works. Why do I put a riser? Why do I put a match cut? Once you understand the psychology, the storytelling, then you will also understand why things are working, why this sound design works, why the assets work, why the motion graphics work. Do not just dive headfirst into some unknown territory. Understand why things work, and to understand, you have to master all these things, right? And because, see, it's actually good for you that people are a little lost, people are focusing on the fluff. That makes you a very unique editor. If you can actually learn these crucial things, you can become the top 10% of editors as soon as you learn these things. Now, these are not something that you can learn overnight. It will take some time, definitely 3 to 4 months. But if you actually take your time, invest into a course or into some other resource, some psychology books about consumer psychology or human psychology in general, you will become a much better video editor on the other side. Now, coming to the next point is to don't be like Jack. This Jack is a jack of all trades. So this is a very vital statement. Anyone who has made a lot of money in any industry has never been way too spread out. They were the master of one single thing. Because think about it. While it is good to have some other skills and know all different types of editing, you might think that's really good that if you can do car edits as well, educational videos, gameplay reels and wedding videos and much, much more. You might think you are a much more skilled editor than someone else. Yes, you absolutely are, but you are not reaching your full potential in any of those tracks. You will never achieve the one status in any field, because you have to understand, if you are providing any kind of service, even if you are a freelancer, you are essentially a one-man service business. Treat yourself like a business, not as a freelancer. And once you understand that, you will also understand the best type of marketing. The outreach that you do will not be needed. The best type of marketing that can happen is when you work really, really, really well for a client and they tell other people that this guy did this for me, look at this video, it's so fucking amazing. That is called word of mouth. Let's just call it WOM. It's called word of mouth, and it is the best type of marketing that you can have, best type of recognition. And that happens when you specialize in one thing. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. If you are making good car edits, if you are making good educational videos, good gameplay reels, then 3 people are talking about your educational reels, 3 people are talking about your car reels, 2 people are talking about your gameplay reels. You are not focusing on one thing. The idea that people are making about you as an editor in their mind is not streamlined. It is not focused. But if it is, right? Other than edit, but what if it is? Instead of editing 10 videos in 10 different genres, if you actually edit 100 videos in one genre, you become an expert. If you actually edit 100 educational reels, your skills in making the educational reels go higher, and all the 10 clients that you work with, when they talk in the industry, because people talk to people, and that news spreads. You make that number like 500 educational reels. If you have edited 500 educational reels, 50 people talk about you in the industry. You are known as the guy who edits banger educational reels. That is what you should achieve. That is what you should look to achieve. That is what you should look to achieve, not to be a jack of all trades. Even if you are, market yourself in only one niche. Now, which niche you actually pick, it can be either driven by heart or driven by wallet. It can be, you can pick like, okay, isme mere ko maza aa raha hai. This is something that I enjoy. This is the type of videos that I like to edit, you can do that. Or it can be, okay, these kind of videos pay me more. Like a reel wouldn't pay as much as a YouTube educational video of 10 minutes. If you think that is a higher ROI for you in terms of financial ROI, go for it. There's no problem. Both are absolutely fine. Moving on to the iron code. This is the biggest problem with most editors. That once they start getting consistent amount of clients, consistent amount of work, they stop upskilling. They are not learning anything new other than scrolling reels or other than the new learnings that they are getting, the new improvement they were getting through the iterative process of making more and more content. They are not investing time or money into making better edits, into becoming a better editor. So even when I was in college, I was freelancing for a lot of clients, not a lot, like I had like 10, 15 clients overall. So even then, while keeping my college at bay, while preparing for my exams, while preparing for my internships and all of that, I would still keep 3 to 4 hours on a weekend to learn, to actually maybe watch a master class, be it free, be it paid. I would find something and invest my time 3 to 4 hours. I would find something and invest my time 3 to 4 hours per week into making myself a better editor that can either make my skills better or that can either increase my prices. So that's something very important. And this is also the thing that I was talking about. Most editors will be stuck at 20, 30K per month because they are not evolving. They are not upskilling. Even if you upscale, you will still be capped at around like 2 to 3 lakhs per month because अकेले तुम कितना ही कर लोगे. That also happens. But that's a different problem for a different day that we can talk about. But upskilling is very, very important. So while you are starting to make money, while you're starting to get clients, do not forget that you have to keep upskilling yourself. And again, that's something that makes you stand out a lot because most people are not upskilling. If you do that, you are already in the top 1%, 2% of editors. Now, the last and the most important part, the no-show. As I already said, no-show has 2 parts. The first one is, there is this famous enigma in the content world. Like content creators also talk around them. And this is something that we always laugh about, that never has an editor delivered on time. This is very true. Majority of editors never deliver either the quality or on time. That's a huge problem. See, you have to understand that as clients, we don't require perfectionism. This is absolutely not needed unless you're working with me, absolutely. But most of your clients are not going to be creators. They're either going to be an entrepreneur, a business owner, or some content business, I don't know, but they are most likely not going to be creators. They don't really care if the colors is a little off, if the tint is a little too green, if the sound design is not up to the mark, if the risers, if the sound effects are a little off, the pitch is a little too high. They don't really care about all of these things. You have to understand this. This is a very big mindset shift, that they did not hire you to make videos. They did not hire you to edit videos. They hired you so that they don't have to edit their videos. It is not a talent acquisition. It is delegation. I am delegating some work that I don't want to do to a freelancer. Okay? They want the work done by someone else who is arguably better than them at the craft. So what they really want is someone who is accountable and reliable. मैंने आकर बोला कि I will deliver the video by Thursday 8 p.m. I should be delivering it by Thursday 7 p.m. That should be the utmost important thing when you are providing any kind of service business. Next is, of course, deliver on time, and accountability, reliability is very important. I know things can happen in your life that could post things off, that could postpone things. You have to be very transparent and you have to be very quick to inform people. Next is the under pitch and over deliver. This is a very common technique that people use. Like if a video is going to take me 2 days to edit, I'll tell the client I'll take 5 days and then I'll deliver it in 3.5 days. I could take more time. I could be more relaxed while editing the video because I had extra time. The client is happy because he or she expected me to deliver the video in 5 days and they got it early. Everyone is happy. It's a win-win for everyone. Now, coming to the second part of a no-show. And no-show exactly also means you are not at all visible, right? How will people find you? Other than your outbound emails, if you are not visible, nobody knows you, it's not going to work out. So this is another ironclad of a statement. Always works. Inbound clients can be charged more than outbound clients. Always. Always, in any business, in any industry, inbound clients are worth much, much more. And you can quote them a much, much more amount of money for your service. But how will clients find you? You have to make a social media page, be it any social media. That's another thing that you have to choose, that choose the social media where your clients usually hang around. Like if your target clients are startup founders, making Instagram videos is not going to work well. You have to go on LinkedIn. If your target client are young people, Gen Zs, Facebook is not going to work because no Gen Z is hanging out on Facebook. So what you have to do is to make a social media page. You do not have to go viral. You have to be showcasing your expertise. That is what your page is for. You have to be very specific about the videos you make so that it only reaches your target customers, your target clients, that demographic. You don't need to be creating content that appeals to everyone. It only just needs to appeal to your clients. Okay. And of course, if you are showing your expertise, it might sometimes require you to show the craft that you're working on. So make sure, this is very important, make sure that you take permission from your clients before you use their content, so this is very important, and make sure you take permission from your client before you are using their videos or any type of creative, their work into your videos or post to showcase your expertise. But this is something that we absolutely have to do. If you are doing this, I can guarantee you'll be getting much, much more inbound clients. And with the same effort that you are putting in, with the same amount of clients that you have, you will be making 2x the amount of money in no time. So that were the 5 essential and the deadly problems with video editors these days, especially freelancers. These are the deadly problems that are actually stopping you from making a shit ton of money as an editor. And if you actually follow all of these steps, if you eliminate these problems and actually incorporate the solutions that I talked about in this video, I can guarantee you'll be making at least 5 to 10 times more money in the next 6 months. It's going to be a grind. It is not easy, absolutely not easy. But once you know the pathway, you can put in the work in the right direction. This is a video that I wanted to experiment with. This video is not the normal sit down and talk with cameras and all of those things. I wanted to actually get my iPad, make up good PPT, and then explain things hands-on. This was a much more analytical video, not much edits, only pure value, pure information that is going to change how you work and how you charge people. If you like this video and if you want more such videos where I sit down with an iPad and actually geek out, actually go very in depth, no surface level shit talking, actually go very in depth about any skill, about a problem, about a solution, about an industry or anything else, let me know in the comments below. I will make more such videos because true value should not be lost in the fluff of highly edited videos. That is what I think. Let me know what you think and if you would like to watch more such videos in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.